But I love how inclusive it is. What I mean by inclusive is we're not expecting everybody's body to do the same thing. We're just honest, real, and inclusive. It's inviting for everybody.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Hey, Be It Babe. You know, you might not know this. You probably hear about OPC all the time, but you probably have never heard the people who are part of OPC. And so I wanted to take some time to share some of the OPC teachers with you. One, it's an excuse for all of us to get together. And two, more importantly, I think it's really important for us all to hear people who are like us and the journey that they went on. You probably know how important Pilates is to me. It really is how I be it till I see it every single day. Like the time that I am doing my Pilates practice is how I can tell where I am in my life and how I'm feeling about myself and what's going on. And when I created OPC, it was so you could too. Just so we're on the same page, onlinepilatesclasses.com equals OPC. You'll hear different terms in this interview with the different teachers. And one of those is FFF, Form Feedback Fridays, and that's just us giving feedback to our members. And you'll hear about the live classes that we have, and you'll hear about the accountability and the community that we have. But the goal here is you could hear a person who's got a job like yours or similar to yours or a life like yours. You know, when I created OPC, it was just me, but the goal wasn't it was always just me. And as I added teachers from our community, we have something very similar, but also we're very different, whether it was height or age or body type or lifestyle or where we live in the world or the journey that we've come on. I could have talked to each one of these teachers for an hour on their own. So, you know, if you like this episode and you have more questions for these teachers, let me know and I'll bring them back on. We are missing Tammy. Our schedules didn't align. It's kind of hard to get 7 busy women with 6 different time zones together, but we'll bring Tammy on for her own special episode, of course. Together, all 7 of us teachers there's 7 including me, have over 80 something years of teaching experience. And so know that you are in good hands and know that we don't ever expect you to aspire to look like us in any exercise. We only want you to be you. And I couldn't think of a better group of people to talk about being it till you see it than just these women who had a whole life before they found Pilates. And they're living these busy lives now, and they're prioritizing that. So here is several of the OPC teachers: Mindi, Rachel, Christine, Yasmin, and Megan. And I really hope you enjoy this. And if you have friends who've been thinking about Pilates and wanting to try it out or have extra accessibility, I hope that they take a look at OPC. There you go. All right, Be It Babe, I've got a party for you. It's an actual true party. I'm not going to lie. And we have a lot of different voices on here. So if you're hearing a bunch of women talk with each other, join us in your car, at your coffee shop, on your walk. Just talk out loud with us. We have the conversation with us. Today, I'm joined by many of the OPC teachers, not all of the OPC teachers. And we thought it'd be really fun. One, we never can get together, all of us, with our time zones. And you'll hear we're missing a brilliant voice in this conversation. So we'll have to have Tammy on another day. But you'll hear the voices of these different teachers. And so we'll start off. I'm just going to call people out for their introductions, and they're freaking out right now. But okay, I'll tell you who all is here. We have Mindi Westfall, we have Yasmin Scholten, we have Rachel Piper, we have Megan Lauman, we have Christine Kam-Lynch, and Tammy Adrian is in our hearts and our souls always. These are the amazing OPC teachers. Christine, I'm going to call on you first. I'm so sorry, but you are probably really good with a PowerPoint, and so you probably have a good way of introducing yourself. Can you tell everyone a little bit about who you are, what you rock at? How did you get into Pilates?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Christine Kam-Lynch. And teaching Pilates is actually a second job for me. Surprise, surprise. I am actually a technology program manager working in IT space and security. So really techie nerd in some ways, or at least working with a lot of people that I bring together. Sorry, LL, I already forgot your question.
Just how you got into Pilates, but I love that what I'm so excited about, you guys, is if you hear she's like a total tech nerd, like one of the big ones. And I also say her last name wrong all the time. It's Kam-Lynch, not Kam-Lynch, so noted. Okay, how did you get into Pilates though? Also, I just want to say, if you're not watching the YouTube video of this, Christine is one of our fun size teachers. So I think that's important to bring up because
right now.
No, you're not. No, she's not. But maybe how tall are you and how did you get into Pilates?
I am 5 feet and I practice Pilates to stay at 5 feet. How did I get into Pilates? You know, when I moved to California from the East Coast, I saw a lot of people doing things. And I don't think you really see that on the East Coast. I think we're like all bundled up a lot because it's cold half the year, that I don't think I paid attention. And so moving out here, I tried like everything. A lot of people do yoga out here. And Pilates just is one of those, looking into a studio space, like what are all those toys in there? Like I want to play on this playground. That's how I discovered it. And there's something about being on the apparatuses that makes me feel connected inside, that I would hear words, but I don't understand the words. I'm like, okay, maybe one of these days it'll make sense and something will click. Well, the click happened on the apparatuses. And so that was my journey from like 1 day a week to 2 days a week to 3 days a week to 4 days a week. And then my husband was like, oh my God, what has happened? I'm like, all the good things has happened. Fast forward, I don't know, maybe 10 years later, the program was set up in a way that I could do teaching. The first part was math. And I finished thinking, I'll just teach math because that's about like all I could wrap my head around. And what's funny is that all of my students, my guinea pigs who all helped me, had asked me, well, what's that over there in the studio?
Oh.
When do we get to go there? And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't think that far ahead. I guess I need to continue the training program.
I love that that's so cool. I love that their curiosity helped you go do more things because you're so good at what you do. We're going to talk more about you for sure, but I want to go to the other spectrum and I can't decide if it's Mindi or Rachel. So Mindi's hair is taller than Rachel, so it'll be Mindi first and then Rachel as far as height goes on our teaching team. Mindi, tell everyone who you are and what brought you into Pilates.
Yes, so I'm Mindi Westfall, and if you're out in Instagram world, I'm Mindi Pilates. So that actually tells a little bit about my Pilates journey because I am hypermobile and super bendy. So Pilates has helped me find my strength and my flexibility. But I actually started, I got on my first reformer in like 2005 because my mom was doing Pilates after she retired from teaching PE. And she called me and was like, you have to try this. And I was like, well, at the time I was living in Oregon working at Nike. And Nike has state-of-the-art facilities. And of course, they had a Pilates studio. So I went in and was like, all right, how do I get on one of those? Christine was like, what's that? So took a couple classes there and I was like, this is amazing. So after my Nike journey, I went back home to the St. Louis area and went to the same studio my mom was going to and just really fell in love all over again. And at the time I had some back issues, a bulging disc. And so I went through and did Pilates and tried to fix it. And unfortunately it was only fixable with surgery. So I did a microdiscectomy and fixed the disc, and my orthopedic surgeon went to the same Pilates studio. And so he was like, okay, so you just need to go to Mary and continue your Pilates and you'll be good to go. And I literally was out of pain and back into strengthening pretty quickly. And so that was just the journey of why Pilates was good for my body. I'm a former athlete. I'm 5'11", So I played volleyball in college, and wear and tear on my body. I really wish I would have had Pilates when I was playing, because I think it would have helped, and maybe I wouldn't have had so many things happening. But from there, I just kept doing Pilates. And then in 2019, I got my certification. So probably 2018, I'm trying to do math in my head. But for my 40th birthday, my parents bought me teacher training program.
What a cool gift. Those are great. Well, we love your parents anyways, but those are so great.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, I think if I got to take a stab at my running career after Pilates, and not only I got 5 more years out of that career, I actually won races, which I never did pre-Pilates, pre-retirement. And so I thought it was pretty cool that like I could come out of retirement and be better than I was. So I do credit, I think everyone should do it if they're doing sports. Okay, so Rachel Piper, is Mindi taller than you? Are you the same height? What are we?
She's taller than I am. I'm 5'9".
Oh, we're the same height? You feel taller to me.
Same height.
Okay, well, you feel taller to me. Anyways.
Well, I have a presence.
That's so true. It's so true. Rachel, how did you get into Pilates? Because you're like Christine, you live a whole other life during the daytime.
Yeah, I feel like there are so many similarities between all of us. So I'm in biotech. That's my day job. And I was also a 3-sport athlete in high school and in college. And I'm also hypermobile, but I didn't actually know that until about 2 years ago. And that's kind of a big thing for me. I went looking for yoga because my kiddo was about 6 years old and I was having trouble getting up off the floor. My knees hurt. Everyone I talked to said, you're probably going to need new knees by the time you're 40. And let me tell you, with Pilates, I'm now 46 and I do not need new knees. Okay. Like that fixed me. But it's that consistency around Pilates that really, really helps. And like I said, it wasn't until maybe 18 months or 2 years ago that I actually realized that I was hypermobile. And when I went in, they gave me a list of things like, oh, this is what you can do for this. And you're also already doing it. So you're already sort of been fixing yourself for all these years, which I think is just a great testament to the entire Pilates method.
Yeah.
But my journey was, I was a complete and total mat rat when I first started Pilates.
Yes, but we should all take up space for the mat rats, because now no one wants to be a mat rat.
I honestly don't get it. And teaching people how to teach mat is like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm like, everyone should be on the mat. There are all of these opportunities for props. I know we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I was a mat rat. I did the teacher training and I was like, I think maybe I'm just going to do this for myself because I'm a nerd. You know, I'm in biotech, Pilates nerd as well. So I think I'm just going to do the mat teacher training and just for me so that I understand what the heck has been going on and how this has changed my body. And then the next thing I know, I have a reformer tower, a chair, like all the things, and I've made it through training.
There's like the addiction is real, and also like
it's real.
Totally fine, because some people, they're like knitters or they're into Beanie Babies or whatever, right? And we're like, no, I'm just going to buy a piece of equipment that will last my lifetime. You know, it's a great investment. Yeah.
And beyond.
And beyond. It will be here. Right. You're totally right, Christine, because one of my girlfriends, unfortunately, her mentor passed. And all of that equipment is now living on 40 years later with other people. So there it is. Okay, more to chat with Rachel about, of course. We're going to go to Megan and then we'll go international to Yasmin. So Megan, tell us everything about you.
Everything.
No, at least just your Pilates journey.
Okay, well, I'm Megan and I'm in the middle of the United States in St. Louis. I'm a mother of 4. And so for me, it was looking for the thing that gives me some time for me so I could be the best mom I could be. And that became running like the minute my first was born. So I've been a runner for 18 years now. And so I ran and ran and ran. And that was like the time that I could breathe. And then suddenly my hips were hurting and my knees were hurting. And I was seeing the chiropractor and I was seeing a physical therapist and whatever I could do to feel well. And then I stumbled upon a YouTube video of mat Pilates and also became a mat rat. So I became obsessed with mat. And I was like, there's no reason to go to physical therapy. I'm doing the same things here on the mat that they were having me do. Only I loved it and I felt so good. And so that became another moment for me. So added Pilates to that practice. And I did mat practice for about 5 years before I even knew that anything else existed. So just mat, loved it, still do, it's my favorite. Yeah. And then, so I did that for about 5 years before I looked into what else there was, and then became a Pilates instructor from there. And now my front room of the house is a Pilates studio.
Yeah.
And just collect all the things. That's what we do.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about, my living room and guest bedroom and office has Pilates equipment in now. So, All right. We got to go all the way across the pond, all the way into Germany to talk to Yasmin. Yasmin, tell us who you are.
Yeah, hi, I'm Yasmin and I'm from Germany. This is in Europe, center of Europe, and that's the country Joe Pilates is coming from originally. So, but it's not the country the Pilates is very famous or was very famous. So I started with 18 with fitness. So I was a group fitness instructor with 18. So this was my teaching beginning. And I financed my tourism management study with teaching a lot.
Oh, so fun. So you were already in fitness. You were just teaching other fitness. And then you're I'm going to go to school.
Pilates, that was not really famous. I taught step aerobics, everything, shaping classes, whatever. I taught everything. And I had
Yasmin, do you know how to say left but go right? Do you have that skill?
Oh, it took a long time to learn, but I got it one day.
That impresses me so much.
The music,
yes,
the rhythm and the music. So count for 4. It took a time. Yeah. But I got it. I still love to dance. So I also had this dance aerobic instructor who also introduced me to Pilates. She was also a Pilates instructor. And I asked her, what do you think is the future of fitness? And she told me a small Pilates studio with equipment. She told me I was, 20. So it's a long time ago. So I finished my studies and then I tried Pilates because I had a lot of tension in neck and back because of sitting too much in my office job a lot. And I went to my first Pilates class there. I wasn't teaching anymore anything about fitness or anything else, but I went to my first class and I really felt so good after this mat class. And I had a wonderful teacher there. And she recommended me one day, why not doing a training program? And she also recommended me I didn't know anything about classical or contemporary. I didn't know anything about it. I just loved the mat class. And she bought a reformer one day and I tried this and I was totally, I fell in love with equipment too. So just a reformer, but it was wonderful. And then, I did the training program and then I started to teach in her studio together with my full-time job. Yeah, that was hard, but it was so fun teaching. I loved it really. And then I decided to move to my hometown. So it's a little small town near Munich. And I opened my home studio there. And I quit my job. It was really a good paid job, but I thought, that's what I want to do. And everybody told me, oh no, you are crazy.
Yeah.
You are crazy. It's a small town. Nobody knows anything about Pilates.
But I think that's sometimes the best thing because then you get to be the one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm still the only one in the surrounding. So there are no other Pilates studios. So I'm really lucky. The next one is in Munich. And they are coming and loving the equipment. So I really love the equipment too. But I'm also a mat rat. I don't know this one.
I know. I feel like we need to rename the animal though, you guys. I don't think anybody really, maybe the mat rat. Or maybe we're just giving rats a better name.
Yeah.
I too, I only knew the mat for years. I thought the equipment was weird. I was like, who needs to be on that? The mat is so good. Why would we do that? It's also I didn't have the money. So I was like, that's so expensive. Why would anyone do that when you could just do the mat work? And then when I moved to LA, the woman kept putting me on the reformer, and I did long stretch for the first time and thought I was going to fly off the reformer. I thought I was just going to get shot up like a cannon. I was like, I don't like this at all. I don't feel safe. I don't think this is good. And it took me a really long time to like get on board with the equipment. Okay, so we have Mindi, Megan, myself and Tammy and Yasmin, full-time Pilates teachers. And then Rachel and Christine, you guys save the world. And then you teach Pilates on the side. Is that what's going on? Okay. And yeah, I like that. I mean, Christine's doing securities and tech and you're doing biotech. So to me, those are the two things that save the world right now. And then we have Yasmin, Rachel, Megan, and Tammy who've got the kiddos. I think Megan wins with 4. Because Yasmin, you have 2?
2, yeah. 2
okay.
boys.
Yeah. And then Rachel and Tammy each have 1. Unless I've forgotten a child. Okay. So I just want to say that because I know people are listening and it's important to put in context, like every single one of these people got into Pilates for something that they needed and they got joy out of it. And also it made them a better person around the people that they love and care about. I mean, Christine's husband was wondering where all this stuff was coming from, but I think he's on board now. Okay. So I want to take a few of you and you guys can chime in if I don't call you out, but like what got you wanting to even look at OPC? Because obviously we all fell in love with in-person Pilates. And I think there's a lot of people, like I just had someone here at the house. I was just teaching a person, they were visiting from the Ukraine and they're like, so you teach people on the computer? Like, how do you know if they're doing it right? And I was like, well, that's kind of my job to know if they're doing it right. But I can understand that question, you know, if you don't experience online. So I'll go with Mindi, Christine, and Rachel on this one. How did you kind of like stumble upon OPC and what did you think about doing Pilates online?
I'm not the mat rat. I didn't know much about the mat until I started doing my training. And then following people on Instagram, following Lesley, and she was doing an in-person class in Denver. And I was like, I'm going to go to that.
Oh, yeah. No, I like slid into your DMs.
Yes.
Okay. So this is how, do y'all want to know how many I met? She commented on something and it was during the time of the first ever OPC pop-up tour. And we were trying to sell out locations. And so I was in the habit of every comment I got, I literally stalked them and looked up where they're from. And it said Denver. And so I DM'd her and I said, hey, I'm teaching a class in Denver and you should come. You guys, it was like across town on a Monday night and she fucking did it. So that's how we met. And it was a mat class. So she had to do mat.
Yeah. And then, so at that point, I was like, okay, I need this in my life. And you guys were talking about OPC, and I was like, oh, this would be great because I can have someone else teach me. And I had been following you and all of that. So OPC was just a way for me to get my own workout in while teaching and trying to figure this out. And I mean, I was teaching a lot in the beginning because that's what we do. And then I was like, okay, I need this time for myself. Plus, I just wanted more of your knowledge because I didn't know a lot at that point. So the mat was really the part that I wanted the access to on OPC because I didn't have access to that where I was. So
a lot of people don't teach mat. And so the mat at OPC is like a great supplement if you're going to a studio. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right, Christine, you're up. How did we, like, we knew each other though. How did we find each other?
This is going to sound really odd.
How did you get in my life?
I know. So I wasn't on social media. I'm barely on it now, but my dog is on social media. And somehow you got into his feed through Profitable Pilates.
Oh, it wasn't even an ad, by the way. We weren't even paying for ads. No, this is like straight up true algorithm making sure we met. Yes. Yes,
which timed well because I was having my home studio at the time and I had 3 questions. And I'm like, where do I go for these questions? And your post, or I don't know, I don't think reels were big back then. That's how old I am. But, but it was a post and I was like, oh, she could have my answers for me. And so I slid into your DMs. Because I remember asking a friend, like, how do I contact her? And she's like, oh, you DM her. And I'm like, what? So she showed me and I was like, oh, great, thank you. And so, yeah, I wrote to you. And so you gave OPC as part of our Profitable Pilates agency
Oh, so
membership.
we just forced you into it.
Yes, basically. I was like, this is free? Okay, I'll give it a try. And I was like, oh, I love this.
I love it. That's so funny. We kind of forced you in. You know what? Sometimes that's the best time. All right, Rachel, how do you find OPC?
I feel like it was really, really odd. If I remember correctly, there was someone on Instagram that I was supporting because she made size inclusive clothing with Pilates. Her name's Maria. And she was hosting like an OPC leader something.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That
what
was
the heck was it called?
Okay. So in 2020, we had like community leaders because everybody was at home and everyone was stuck. And so we would do pop-ups, but live Zoom classes on the mat, but just for that person's people. It was city-based, but obviously not. And so it was those were our first affiliates. And so she loved us. We love Maria. Shout out to the Movement Shop. And so you came to the Minneapolis Zoom class.
Yeah, I came to the Zoom class and I think I followed you on Instagram or whatever, but I didn't really know what was going on with Instagram other than I was trying to support her. So I went and afterwards we chatted. And Brad was there and I was like, oh, these people are fun. And you asked me like a whole bunch of questions and it was like really interactive. And then after that, it was just like, we kept commenting on each other's posts and things like that. And the next thing I knew, you were asking me to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did this even happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, but I love the classes. So I did sign up for OPC after that. But we have a ton of mat classes. We had a ton of mat classes at my studio, but they were all 50 minutes long. And I was like, I just want a pinch of mat. Well, also because I could do it on my own. But if I do it on my own, then maybe I'll cheat a little here or there. And I love a good theme. I think we all know I love themes. I love writing descriptions for themes.
Yeah. So I
have the best names, Rachel. You come up with the best names.
At OPC, it was like Katie Donnelly. And it might have been Christine who was like, when you hear OPC, does anyone go, yeah, you know me? And we discovered that all of the members are kind of like elder millennial Gen Xers who just really love 90s hip hop. Then we just really got into themes. And Rachel is definitely the go-to because some people on the team don't really love naming things and coming up with themes. And it's like Rachel and Christine, the two of them will just come, and Megan can just come up with themes. So just give them to Mindi.
I do. I send some of them to Mindi, and I swear, my favorite one that I ever came up with, and I still giggle out, is Hippie Kaye, Mat and Reformer.
Yes.
It's still one of my favorite ones.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We just need to bring that back because
you should bring it back.
It was an awesome theme. If anyone remembers the circle bands, we put the circle bands on our thighs and we never took it off for class. And I was like, maybe don't use a heavy band, everyone.
I did. I did not listen to you. I did, and I regretted it.
I do recall. I do recall that.
Too. Yeah.
So Megan, I know how she won a year of OPC, if I recall our history together. I think the better question maybe is, why did you stick around at OPC? Most people win things and it's free and they don't use it, but you used it. So what was it about OPC that made you go, this is my place that I'm going to use this gift?
Yeah, well, kind of similar to Mindi. I mean, when I originally found you was online with YouTube videos, teaching exercises, because I was a teacher in training and I was like, how do I soak in more knowledge when I'm on a walk? How can I just learn while I'm walking or while I'm driving? I could just listen. And so that's how I found you. Loved the tutorials. And then won the free year. I kind of like to go all in. A lot of us Pilates people, we don't really just do it. That's why we all have so much equipment, right? So yeah, I went all in. I'm like, I'm not missing a class. I'm getting everything out of this that I could possibly get out of this.
The value of a year of OPC is $1,400 and something. I'm telling you guys, Megan was at every live class. She took now they're 45 minutes and every 30 minutes. And how I got to know you is because of you asked all these questions and you participated in the community. I was like, yes, I'm so glad this person won because you were the most deserving to win.
The Form Feedback Fridays, I definitely took advantage of that because I was a new Pilates instructor. Right. Yeah. And so I'm looking at everyone, but have no one looking at me.
Right.
And so it was just such a huge bonus to have someone able to look at me and give some feedback.
That's one of my favorite things that I wish people took advantage of more. And it's really funny because I've had a couple people go, can I send my clients videos in? And I'm like, no, because OPC is a safe place for your practice and your practice. The more curious you are, even if your body type is different than your clients, because all the teachers' body types are so different, you're going to learn what you need to learn. And so the Form Feedback Fridays, you guys, it's really like you send a video in if you're an OPC member, if you do an exercise, and then I can give feedback. And my goal is that we get so many of these that I have to hire the OPC teachers to help me. And so people are like, I don't want to take up her time as if I don't know how to manage it. So take up my time, OPC members, and send it in, because it's one of the things that no other on-demand platform does. No one does. Not a single fitness company out there makes sure, except for they're like, oh, put this suit on and these little sensors will tell you you're doing it correctly or not. That's not actually how Pilates works. Your body is very different. So Megan, we love that you took full advantage of the favorite parts of OPC and all that you did. Yasmin, you've been with us for a long time. And you've been doing Pilates probably longer than all of us, maybe as long as Christine. What's your favorite part about OPC that makes you want to do it and even wanted to teach it at it?
Okay, I would say I found you did this Struggle is Real with Andrea Maida. Yeah. And I love this struggle is real because, we all have these construction sites, I say, in our bodies, also we as a teacher. And I love to go through this. And this is the same with OPC, I would say. You gain more self-confidence in your body because you're following these teachers who also have these struggles in their bodies, and they give you an approach of their method to help you with these struggles. And I really love this about OPC. And also, I'm often really overwhelmed and overstimulated with studio and being mom and family. And I don't want to scroll through hundreds of classes to find this for this day. I don't know what I need. I just want to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that was my goal. I used to ask people, why do you not use the membership that you have? And they were like, it's too many. It's like Netflix. It's like, do you know, for the 5th time, Brad and I are watching Schitt's Creek right now. It's not like there's not a new show out there. I know that there's a new season of White Lotus out, and I haven't even switched over because I'm still finishing the 5th round through Schitt's Creek, because you want to know what? I know where it is. I know how to find it. So, people were telling me they weren't using it. And I was like, how do I create something that people have accountability for, but also feels like you're at the studio, but doesn't have the distractions or the expenses of the studio, but has all that. So thank you for sharing that. And we love Pilates, Andrea. Megan, and this goes for, not that Christine and Mindi and I can't talk to what it's like to be busy. You have 4 kids. And you talked about how running was your thing. How do you prioritize? And, if Yasmin and Rachel want to jump in, as a busy mom of kids who need you, your practice, because it would be so easy for you to have an excuse to not.
Oh, yeah. I should mention that 2 of my children have special needs as well. So there's a little bit more time consumed in them. My youngest is 12 and he has autism. He's nonverbal. He functions like an 18-month-old. So he does require a lot of attention when he's around. So I do have the best partner in the world. My husband's amazing. And we both believe that we need time for ourselves. And so we tag each other in. And of course, we do a lot of the work together, which makes it fun. But we do tag each other in too. And so having someone that knew what's important to me and making sure that I get that time is just really valuable. Yeah, so it started when my youngest was born. And went with running, and it would just be like, maybe it was a nap time and my husband was working from home and I could get out for, my first run was 1.5 miles. I thought I was going to die. Right. And then I'm thinking back to when they got a little bit older and I was doing Pilates, and I would just tell them all to work together, and I would turn on a video and I'd find like a quiet space in the front room, which is now my Pilates studio. And my kids would be in the other room so I could hear what's going on. I knew that they were there, but I had my own space, and the kids would work together and give me, maybe it was 10 minutes, or maybe I got a full hour that day, but I made it a priority. And, I'm thinking back to that time specifically. I would schedule that in the morning, and they knew at 9:00, this is what mom was going to do. We set that expectation. And like I said, sometimes it was shorter than others, but scheduling and making sure I had that time for me.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, because I think so many people take on that full responsibility and maybe they don't have the same amazing partner we know, and we shout out to him. We love him. But also I think sometimes people aren't asking for help either. We assume people will meet our needs without us verbalizing it as well. So I love that you guys tag in.
You can live in this world where you're like, I don't ever get time for myself. And I realized you're not really winning any points for doing that. I have it worse than you isn't winning any points. So let's just make the best of it. And sometimes it's 8 o'clock at night before I would get a workout in, but I knew I'd feel better and I'd sleep better if I did it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's waking up early or fitting it in there in the day. But figuring out that time for you, I think, is very important.
I love that. Rachel or Yasmin, do you have anything to add, like on how with kiddos? And I think, Yasmin, your kids are quite young still.
Yeah, they are 8 and 11, and yeah, they need mom a lot. I don't want to lie, it's sometimes hard, really, but they know since they are really small, this is a part of my life. So if I don't do Pilates, I get pain, I'm in bad mood, I get a lot of stress. So they know all. So I have also the best partner in the world, and he knows. Often he says, okay, go, do your workout, and then we will do the rest. So yeah, it is really important to make yourself the priority. It's not easy with all these. We all have so much to do. The day is too short, I guess. So it is important to prioritize, because if not, I get pain. Really, I get pain and a bad mood.
Yeah. And I don't think people recognize that pain and bad mood doesn't make you the mom or partner or coworker or friend or sister that you want to be. Then you end up spending time apologizing for being in a bad mood and being in pain and for what you said while you were in a bad mood and in pain. And that just wastes more time that you could spend with yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I have to add is I also have a 12-and-a-half-year-old, and he's also autistic, and he's got some other fun flavors going on like ADHD, which kind of sends him flying off the walls. So finding time to just be in my own space where it's quiet is really, really important. And since I started when he was relatively young, I let him kind of play around with me or next to me. And then from there, he just understood it's something I do. And now as he's gotten older, for almost the last year, we've started doing an activity together. So we started Taekwondo. If you look at my socials, we did rock climbing yesterday. And that was the first time I'd actually rock climbed. But
so cool.
He's done it like one other time, and we did it together. And he's very cool about that. He's not quite in the place where he wants to do Pilates with me, but we can do these other things together. And I just want people to know that even if it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes where you can just get on the mat, it helps you do everything else better. There's no way that I could do Taekwondo the way that I do it, or just, okay, I'm just going to scale this wall without training at all.
Rachel,
Pilates.
I couldn't agree more, because like I rock climbed with Brad a couple of years ago. I was like, that'll be our hobby together. And to be honest, it's just not close enough to our house for either of us to be able to prioritize it. But There's no way. There's not a part of me that is a rock climber, except for that I have really long legs, have to be pretty strong, and have flexibility in my hips. That kind of helps, but nothing else. If it wasn't for Pilates, I wouldn't know how to use my arm and my leg opposite at the same time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I just have this. Are you the only adult in your Taekwondo class? Is like all the kids and like, is it an adult Taekwondo class?
No,
it's all the moms.
It's actually a mix, and it's like the most inclusive place you could find, which is great. There are a ton of neurodivergent people.
I love it.
And we all take class together. So there are parents of adults, there's kids that come on their own. And it's like a super safe place for Alex in this particular dojang, which has made him come out of his shell. So yesterday he was like leading me all over the place. Like, okay, you do that one and I'll do the one right next to you for rock climbing. It's really helped him come out of his shell.
I saw his smile. I saw his smile on something on your post, and I was like, I have not seen that kid smile so big. So it was really cool. Okay, this is like not even long enough. We could talk forever, but I want to go into 2 parts. Be it action items. We can't leave an episode without a be it action item. and the thing that makes you actually take class on OPC. Because here's the thing, guys, these are all teachers of OPC, except for Tammy, we're missing her. They could so easily just film and take the money and run. But I also know that they take each other's classes. So I would love to know why they actually do that, like what their favorite part about OPC is. So we'll go with Mindi and then Christine.
So for me, it's constantly learning, right? Learning from other teachers, I think, is one of the most important things I can do for myself, teaching my clients, and then also for my own practice, because I learn something new every single time I take someone's class. So that's really important to me. So my beit action is actually from Lesley. So in agency, the business group, it's take messy action. But I also put that into my own practice because not every single class, every single exercise is ever going to be what you want it to be. And you have to take messy action in your own practice and be like, well, that was okay today, but I got to move, or whatever it is. It's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to feel perfect. Movement is the most important part, and just do it. And no matter what it looks like, what it feels like, at least you're moving your body.
I love that. I love the way you applied that. Yeah. Christine, favorite thing and a beit action item.
Similar to Mindi, I think we're all relatively students of life. Do not stop learning. So I actually love hearing the different cues from different teachers, because sometimes that like lands differently depending on the day with me. And sometimes I can actually take that and apply it to a client of mine if my words are not working. It's like osmosis or something. That I can be like, oh, how about this? Will this work? That's really fun to try and experiment with. My beit action item is I started treating movement like snacks throughout the day. And I think sometimes we get tied to a time, like I have to work out 30 minutes or it doesn't count. Or I have to work out for an hour, it doesn't count. No, any amount of minutes that you can sprinkle throughout your day counts.
Yeah.
And my mom has really embraced this. My mom, who is not a mover, not an exerciser. She's like, does this count? Like, what are you doing?
For everyone listening, Christine just lifted her arm and lowered it down. Technically, that would be under the movement category, yes. Is it going to help her rock climb? Probably not today.
So surprisingly enough, the homework I give my mom, who I didn't think was going to take it seriously, actually took it seriously. And she does what she can remember for that week. And she just inserts throughout the day. And it's kind of like my new thing lately. Like if I can't get a workout in, just move a little bit here and there throughout the day. You'll feel better.
I love it. Yasmin, your favorite thing about OPC, why you stick around, why you take classes, and your beit action item.
I would say I will steal your mantra, so we don't have to be perfect. The root is the goal, not to be perfect in this moment, and just do your workout practicing with the teacher. And find confidence in your body.
I love that beit action item. What's your favorite thing about OPC though?
My favorite thing is to be not alone in my studio. So I have a home studio, I'm alone, and there's a community for me. I can ask questions. They are wonderful teachers I get to know, and I can ask whatever struggle. No question is a bad question.
I love that you brought that up, because I think a lot of people work from home today. And so they're thinking, I need to go out and find something so I'm not in my house all the time. But then they don't have the time for the parking, or they can't afford the membership, or they can't get into classes. And so they could still have a community. Yeah, I thank you for sharing that part. Megan, your OPC favorite thing and beit action item?
Yes, definitely love the community. Certainly love learning. That's what brought me there in the first place. But I love how inclusive it is. Sometimes also I just listen to the workouts. Maybe I watch them more than once, but I listen to them while I'm driving a car. And I learn a lot from everyone. But what I mean by inclusive is we're not expecting everybody's body to do the same thing. And I think sometimes if you're just watching an online platform, you're thinking, I have to look like this person who's demonstrating it. I like how all the teachers might say, oh, that rep didn't feel very good. And let's see if it's different this time. Or I felt my hips move. They aren't supposed to move right there. Or we're just honest, real, and inclusive. And I really do love that. It's inviting for everybody.
Yeah.
Be it item. I'd say just find a way. Maybe it would be find a way to do the thing, to take a moment for that self-care, or whatever that is, if it's 5 minutes. And maybe it is a mat and it's 5 minutes on the mat, or getting out for a walk around the block, or whatever it is, but finding a way.
I love that. I love both those things. And thank you for saying that. When I set out to create OPC, of course, I always thought of myself as an inclusive person, but I also could see where I alone can't be the whole reason we're inclusive. And by the way, that takes the pressure off every single person listening. You alone cannot be for everyone ever because we all have different life experiences. So we all have blind spots to experiences we don't have. And even if you are super thoughtful and kind and welcoming, it doesn't mean that every single person can see themselves. We just had a new member who was like, I was taking a reformer class and it was just a little faster than I'm in a larger body and I'm not sure I'm like set out for this. And I was like, oh my God, hold on. When is Rachel's next class on the schedule? Okay. Yeah. And also I really do mean it when I say don't do every exercise, so I love that I can refer our new members to different teachers who either have similar body types or schedules or personalities. So yeah, thank you. Rachel, your favorite thing about OPC and Be It Action?
I actually love it when I have the workout with me's. And I don't even care if just one person shows up to those, but it's just like this little extra community thing in general, because Yasmin said we're very community oriented. And this is just like another way for us to be able to do it. So I know Megan's done one and we hope to get a few more out there. But everyone's already said kind of what I'm already thinking as well. But I just love hearing what people are doing with their themes. And so sometimes I'll just listen to it. But I'll tell you what, to me, there's like nothing better than turning on the camera live as one of the teachers and playing someone else's workout and letting people, if they want to, just sit there and watch me do someone else's workout.
Yeah.
Because I will change the workout if I need to.
And I love that because it does give our members, even though we say it and we all say it in a different way, gives people a permission. Like, oh, Lori Watson, who's an honorary teacher of OPC, she has fusions and stenosis. So she changes every workout. But guess what? I know that she takes every single OPC workout and she just changes it. And there isn't a workout out there where one of us is going to have to alternate something because our bodies are so different. So I love those workouts. You guys, those are really fun that Rachel started them. And you know that we have OPC members at Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Mountain Time get together every single week and they all hit play at the same time and take the same class and then they hang out afterwards. And I just think that our community is so cool. Okay, you have a Be It Action item. I think I cut you off.
So don't show up for anyone else but you and do what you can do and then be happy about it. That's it.
The simplest and hardest thing I think anyone can do.
100%.
Yeah. Lifelong journey. Ladies, okay, real quick. Well, I'll tell everyone we'll go through your Instagram handle so people can find you, follow you, work with you. So Mindi, what's your favorite place on Instagram to hang out?
It's Mindi Pilates.
I love it. Rach with an I, Mindi with an I. Rachel, what's your Instagram handle for people?
Size_diverse_Pilates.
Love it. Christine, we know you don't like to hang out, but you do have a dog who does. So where can you be found?
No, you can find me at Pilates.found. But if you really want to follow a really cute St. Bernard, it's Ramis128.
Yeah, we love Rami. Megan, your Instagram handle.
Instagram is Megans_Pilates.
Megan's Pilates. Yasmin?
It's Pura Pilates _Yasmin.
Yasmin. Wonderful. And you guys, everyone can follow the OPC Instagram. So you can follow me, but sometimes I don't talk about Pilates at all. And people like to tell me that I should. But this is my personal Instagram. So I'm going to talk whatever I want. But opc.pilates is the Instagram handle for OPC. And Tammy, we miss you. We'll have you share all your favorite things with the Be It people soon. But I wanted to have everyone on because I think when you think about OPC, it's easy to like think, oh, it's me and these other teachers, but really it's all of us, right? And while I started it, it certainly was never intended to be about me. It was actually a bit more to be about the community. And so every single one of these teachers was in the community first, because I get people all the time are like, how do I teach for your platform? And I'm like, oh, are you a member? Probably not, since I don't know. And so the teachers were in the community first, and it's about the community. And our live monthly classes, our workout with me's, the Forum Feedback Fridays, all of that is for the community because we actually grow together. We as teachers grow because of the questions that our members ask. The members get stronger because our classes are based around their questions, and we all benefit from the accountability and the community that exists. So I hope that if you're at all intrigued by any of these ladies and why they got into Pilates and why they do OPC, I hope you join us in our favorite place. And so if you just go to onlinepilatesclasses.com, you can join us 40 days for $40. Please share this episode with a friend who's been wanting to do Pilates, but they thought it was too expensive. OPC can be part of your Pilates journey that you do at home and you go to a studio. It could be your only way of accessing Pilates, but we always have something for you no matter what you have access to, because you could be a mat rat like most of us. Until next time, everyone, be it till you see it.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.